Welcome guys to another Sway Funded video. Today we are here with Chris Forex. Welcome Chris.
Hey Fernanda, nice to be here.
Nice to finally meet you. Today we're gonna be talking about some prop trading, a little bit of Forex, a little bit of trading. How do you enter into trading?
I entered actually in 2021. I was studying game development back then, and during a lesson, I saw a colleague of mine doing something on the PC. He was trading stocks back then, and he made like a couple of thousands. And I was like, "What did you do? Like, how is it possible? You did it while we sit here." And he explained it to me a little bit, and I was hatched ever since. And after this, it's all history. But this is how it started.
Where do you live right now?
I live in Germany, in Berlin.
Okay, so I think that a lot of people also in Germany are trading and are into trading world.
Yes, I don't think it's as popular as in the United States, but especially if it comes to ETFs, there is an up move in Germany. Yes, we have big new companies coming up and making it more appealing for young people.
Why do you think that there are more people interested in trading in United States than in the side of Europe?
I believe it has a lot of reasons. One of them probably being that in America, you have like the American dream, this open-minded mentality. In Germany, from my perspective, from what I experienced, people are more like afraid of risk, I would say, and they are more on the do college, go working job, blah, 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 type of thing. So, because trading is obviously risky, I believe it's for this reason not that popular in Germany as in the United States.
Yeah, you were even saying that the videos and the reason why you do your videos in English is because it is easier to communicate to a certain target audience than in Germany, is it?
Yes, exactly. Me talking in English in my videos and doing everything in English pretty much has multiple reasons. One of them, I always wanted to reach the biggest audience possible, and it's just easier in English because obviously more people speak English than German. But also in social media, I had other accounts before my trading account and everything, and I receive always more negative feedback from German speaking followers than from English speaking. So I decided why even bother and speak German at all.
How do you enter into a mindset of showing people about trading, if I may ask?
This is a good question. I don't know. I always loved to teach people what I'm doing and to share what I'm doing and my journey and everything online. I did it back then when I was doing game development and I started to do it on day one when I started with trading. I just enjoy the process. I like the feedback and everything. So yeah, it's just a passion, I would say.
Okay. Um, what do you think that are the advantages of trading and showing or teaching Forex um, compared to a 9 to 5 job?
Well, in a 9 to 5 job, you obviously have a salary. Maybe you can get promotions and everything, but there is still like a ceiling. While in trading, there is no ceiling. You can make 1,000 on a day in this year, but in 5 years it could be 500,000 or whatever. So it can go up and up and up. And I just love the potential of it, even though it is, of course, a way harder journey than working a corporate job or whatever. But for me, the risk, this adrenaline, it is.
Okay. Do you have any kind of strategy you follow for the risk management?
Well, I have actually multiple risk management plans for certain accounts, I would say. So of course, trading a funded account or a challenge account is different than trading a personal account trying to grow rapidly. So on challenges, I mostly trade 1% in the beginning until I'm up a few percent, then I might add half a percent extra. And I always like to go for a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, regardless the account size. And yeah, that's basically my risk management plan.
How do you learn about the prop trading? How do you enter into that world from forex? What was the transition from going into live account into going into a funded account challenge?
Funny that you ask. I remember my first trade was back then in 2021, January to be precise, and I lost big time. It was like a 2000 euros account, which was a lot for me, and I lost like 500 in a single trade. So then I saw a random video of funding talent back then. I think people might know this disaster of a company. And I actually passed on the first try, and then, of course, everything went down. But this is how I found out about prop firms. And I like the idea of putting in 50 bucks, for example, to get a way bigger account.
Yeah. How do you, well, now that it's interesting how you're saying that you got into prop trading, I wanted to ask, how do you heard about Sway Funded?
Um, it was actually from Daniel Savage, I believe. I used Sway Markets even before Sway Funded went live. Um, Back then, when still MetaTrader 5 was a thing. And therefore I saw it firsthand. I don't know if it was first from Daniel mentioning it or Sway directly.
In your opinion, what are the advantages of trading with Sway Funded compared to others?
It is the payout on demand, first of all, and also the fact that you can get a lot of add-ons to make it a very personal experience, while on most other prop firms I tried in the past, you have basically, here is what you get, that's it. You cannot buy extra things, whatever. So yeah, I like the fact that it's personal based, that you can personalize it.
Yeah, actually, it is very very customized to what you want and what you need, like the add-ons, the based daily drawdown, the balance-based drawdown, the daily drawdown. Have you tried any of the add-ons that we offer?
Not yet actually, because I personally have no problems with the standard rules. However, I find it very interesting that you can switch between balanced and equity-based
Yeah.
drawdown. I think I have a community, and I know for a fact that for a lot of traders, the one thing is way better than the other one. But for me personally, I don't really care.
Okay, that's great. How do you find yourself to manage with the consistency rule? If you don't add any add-ons or anything, like how do you manage?
Well, I mean, my risk management plan is like I mentioned anyways, so I have the same risk always. I always take trades on the similar time frame. So for me personally, my trades are consistent anyways in the criteria of time, size, and risk and everything. So I don't really even keep this rule in mind and just happen to not break it.
So you have the same strategy. You are always trading in the same time frame, in the same time zone?
Yes, yes, basically yes.
Okay.
So it's yeah.
What's the time frame, if I may ask?
It's of course it's mostly based on 4 hour and daily time frame. The entries, however, I make on 1 hour or 30 minutes.
Ah, okay. That's really interesting. That's actually very smart. That's very cool. So you follow the same strategy. How in the risk management side and in the time frame, you always go with the same. And what about the time zones? Do you have any specific time zone that you like to trade in?
Yes, I pretty much only trade the London session and the New York session. However, the entries are mostly in the first hour of London. It's not really a rule of mine, but it just happens to have the best setups and entry points for me.
How do you decide when you're gonna have like an entry point for a trade? Do you also have a strategy for that when it comes with the funded account challenges? Or is it different when you're live trading, for example?
Actually, yes. On a challenge, I am always a little bit more careful. I wait for extra confirmation, which is a breakout. But on personal accounts, I sometimes, if I see a setup, I know the probability is there, the edge is there, it matches the strategy, then I sometimes enter even before the breakout, which makes it a little bit more risky.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. We were talking about the trading, right? And we were talking about the entry points and how do you manage to do an entry point, for example. When how I think I haven't asked you how do you learn trading and who was did you have any mentor?
So the funny thing is actually I started to learn everything from YouTube because when I started trading, I was like a student on a private university, so didn't really have the money for courses whatsoever. So I learned a lot from Swaggy C, Daniel Savage, Mamba FX from YouTube, from their YouTube videos for free. And then I actually did both the courses from Daniel and from Swaggy C. So yeah, you could say those two are my mentors. Yeah.
Okay. What are the main things that you have learned from those two mentors? If you could say one thing from each one, which one would they be?
From Swaggy C, I learned that swing trading might be a more peaceful approach because he's a swing trader. So I learned this from him. And from Daniel, it was probably the Fibonacci, how to use Fibonacci in the trades. And yeah, I don't use them anymore, but it used to be a very big part of my trading.
Okay. Yeah. Also, beside the learning side of the forex and the trading side, did you have learned any kind of motivation that you apply into the funded account challenges from your mentors?
Yes, certainly. I mean, you see the day in the life videos and everything from Swaggy. Swaggy, he has even a whole show, reality show, I would say, on YouTube, which I love to watch. It was motivational poor to me, and always kept me in front of eyes what trading can actually do to your life. So this was really a big part for sure.
I think that the part of being consistent, discipline is a big and huge part of the funded account challenges. How have you been this disciplined and consistent for such a long time? You said that you have been into funded account challenges from 2021.
Yes, yes, that's right. Honestly, I had to fight with this a lot. It took me a long time to become disciplined and consistent. The first challenge I passed was honestly a little bit more luck than anything else, to be honest. I guess it's true for most traders. But yeah, I guess I just failed enough times to realize how important it is to really stick to the plan, to not do revenge trading and everything. So I took the harder route to realize this.
Okay. Yeah. That's very good. Um, okay. So this is a fun one. What are your favorite indicators to trade?
That's a good question. I love a lot of indicators. My favorite one, I would say, is the Ikimoku cloud and probably the old common exponential moving average, 50 to be precise.
Okay. Do you have certain indicators that you use in funded account challenges and in live accounts?
I use all indicators for all accounts I trade, for every trading style I trade. So it's always the same, Ikimoku cloud and moving averages.
Okay, that was a cool one. Um, okay, so if you could say a golden rule that you apply for any funded account challenge that you enter to, what would it be?
Treat it as your own capital. I would say this is the most important thing because only then you take it serious enough to keep the account after you passed it. I know a lot of people, happen to myself a lot of times. You pass the challenge and then you think, all right, I got the money, and then you blow it. So you have to treat it like the own capital from day one.
Actually, that's a good one. What are your three motivational um, thoughts to stay resilient when there are market volatility? When there is market volatility, which is very linked to the motivation that you got from your mentors, but maybe you have some personal that you want to share.
Yes, of course. So I believe it's always important to keep saying and keep in mind that it's not the market's fault if you lose trades. It's actually you because you did a mistake. But on the same take, you shouldn't take it too personal. It's a very, very small path, but I believe those two thoughts are most important to stay resilient.
I think there has to be a balance, right?
Yes. Mm.
Between not taking it very personal, because I believe that traders, to get to that consistency and to get to that discipline and to get into that main like mindset of trading, has to be a process, and finding that balance may take you a little bit, right?
100%. I like the saying Alex G once said, don't take losses personal because that's why you use the stop loss. But also don't let wins into your head because that's the reason you took the trade in the first place.
Yeah, and also sometimes when you start having a lot of trades and you are going very good, then that can also play like to the other face of the coin, I believe. Because then you start over trading, you start doing everything that is gambling instead of following the strategy that you had already planned in first place.
Yes, 100%.
If you could give three pieces of advice to people that wants to start a funded account challenge that are beginners and they don't know how to, what would you say?
I would say the biggest advice I can give is don't hop on from strategy to strategy on a weekly basis, whatever, because more often than not, it's the psychology part and not the strategy while you are not passing the challenges. Second one would probably be focus on risk management because I truly believe this is more than 50% of what it takes. And the third one would probably be if you take advice or signals or whatever from traders, then don't join 50 different groups. Decide for one.
Oh, that's actually very good. I think that there are a lot of traders that go into different groups and everyone has different strategies and everyone is following different risk management, different strategies, different time frames, different ways of being. And when you're a beginner and you just start trying to overlearn, that's also can be on the other side, and can you can actually can't decide what do you want to do, so you become overwhelmed, I believe, and then you don't know how to start because you have too much information. So if you decide for something that you want to go with, just go for it.
100%.
Thank you so much for your time, Chris. It was a pleasure really to speak with you, and we've been following you for quite some time. Something I didn't ask you actually that I wanted to ask you is, how does it feel to be an affiliate from Sway Funded? Because you are an affiliate.
Yes. It feels actually great. Like the team of Sway Market is amazing. It's just a great community, I would say. I like the way Sway moves, with the fashion and everything. It's just a great environment. I never seen anything like this. It was a dream of mine, yeah.
Good. I'm very happy and very glad to hear. I think that making a passive income as an affiliate on Soy Funded is something that is a plus, is a go.
Yeah, 100%. People get a licensed, regulated broker, and I get some money. It's a win-win situation. So
So
the
when
best thing to do.
all right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to be with you today here. And well, guys, if you know, you know. Follow us, tag us, like this video, and see you next time.